I'm still working on this 84 Mustang GT convertible 5-speed. I just got done putting some quick and dirty axle dump exhaust in it. We reused his old X-pipe. We got rid of these old Dynamaxes, which really kind of fought me getting out. Dynamax. And we put some Flowmasters in it. So normally I do a offset in. Normally I do an offset in and an offset out on these because it's easier to run the pipes, but this is what he provided, so I made some quick bends and cuts and welded them back together and made some compound bends and then just kind of melted it all together to glue it together with some MIG wire. So I put coolant in it yesterday and it's not a sprinkler anymore. Well, time to wrap this little project up. 73.5-inch belt is a 6PK 1865. It is actually available on LMR's website. I just didn't realize it when I ordered my parts. Oh, that's tight. The kit relocates the power steering pump up and over, and that allows the belt to not contact itself in its natural position. The belt will come across and self-destruct itself right here at this spot. So that's why the pump gets raised to this position for the AC delete and smog delete kit. They have several different kits available for this car. We chose this one because it fit the bill for what he was trying to accomplish, and it basically allows you to reuse all the other bits that come on the car. LMR does have really good instructions on their website. You just have to look for them. Pretty good kit. Very happy with it. I think I'm going to hook up the alternator. And it goes on the way. So let's see if our charging system is charging, our power steering system is working, and now our water pump will be spinning. So we don't have to be quite as worried about how long it runs. You need to make sure it's in neutral, because I don't want to run into the back of Austin's AMX. Choke's not hooked up. Sounds pretty good. To move my power steering pump pulley in just a hair because I'm not quite lined up correctly. Other than that, it looks like everything's doing quite well. So I was going through my invoice on this because I thought I was done with this. But I was reading through and customers complaining about the car not running well once it gets hot. And since I never had a belt on this prior to today, I was never able to warm this thing up or drive it or anything, and I'm going to go with my gut instinct and say the fact that the choke is not hooked up choke plate's closed today, so that's weird. It was closed the other day. But let's fire this thing up. Looks like the choke's wound all the way open. Let's fire this thing up. I am in neutral. So let's get this thing up to operating temperature and see why it runs awkward. If it runs awkward. Water temperature gauge is not reading anything. Lower hose is pretty warm. I know I have coolant in it. My idle is running pretty good at this point. I'm going to grab my thermometer and take a heat reading. The alternator is not charging, so this car is going to need some pretty major electrical work. So let's see what he wants to do with that. It seems to be idling fine. I was thinking the choke plates were open the other day when I was running this, but it's been adjusted to full open, so I was thinking, well, that would definitely make it run rough if the choke's not hooked up. But it's been turned open, so it should be alright. Oil looks good. I don't have any fuel leaks. I don't see any coolant leaks, so I did my job. The main problem that it came in for, which was a colander and not a bowl, wouldn't keep coolant inside. It's just full. So this intake has a little spot right there to bleed the coolant out, right there. And it's full of coolant, so I'm going to put some sealer on the plug because I didn't see any sealer on the plug. Oh no, my thing fell apart. Goodness gracious. But for whatever reason, my coolant temperature sensor is not sensing any temperature. So I decided to shut it down and double check, and it is full of coolant. It seems to run just fine, not duplicating the runs rough or runs poorly once hot. And the alternator's not charging, so I don't really want to drive it because I don't feel like walking today. It's like 70 degrees. It's beautiful, but I don't want to be walking. Another reason I don't want to drive this thing is the windows don't roll down. We'd be cooking in this thing. Well, she's got a pretty stable idle at 700 currently. I can leave it there for now. It was idling at like 1300, which was a bit excessive. But lots of steps in the right direction. Call up our customer and see what he wants to do with us with this from here. Ooh, it's getting warm. It's warm out here in the sun. If I was smart, I'd take it into the shop. It's at least in the shade. I never said I was smart. Well, it looks like this car is going to end up with a happy ending. The customer came in the other day and I showed him all the work we had done and where we were at. The car still wouldn't start or run with the ignition. And I asked him if he wanted me to take a look at it, and I told him, like, just let me spend 2 hours working on it. Worst case scenario, I rewire it differently if I can't decipher what he unplugged. Because basically he took a running car and turned it into a non-running car. And, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you go backwards before you go forwards. So anyway, I just spent a couple hours working on it. I have it running. I have it running with the ignition switch, turning off with the ignition switch. And I have the alternator charging. Basically the wire, the field wire is actually broken inside of this rubber housing, so I ran a new wire for that. So now my alternator's charging. The white wire off the alternator actually goes and powers up the choke, so he will have power to his choke now. I'll verify that here in a minute. And it starts and turns on and off with the ignition switch, which is a big step in the right direction. Much safer than what it was before. I'm going to let him clean up the wiring from there because he has ideas in his head of what he wants to do, but at least we got it to a place where he doesn't have to tow it home, because with the alternator not charging, you're going to be on the side of the road getting a tow one way or the other, but it runs. I also figured out the other day that the water temperature gauge isn't working because the probe broke inside of the wire, so he's going to have to get a new gauge. So that's it. This car's moving down the line. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, and have a nice day. It's going to be a nice one here in a while. Awesome. Case closed. Still got to disconnect the battery. He has a whole bunch of wiring things that are hot all the time. It's a project, work in progress. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.